Can you spot the lie? Welcome to Fact or Fake. We've got 15 mind-blowing statements that will challenge everything you know about historical world leaders. Let's begin. Statement 1. The ancient Roman Emperor Caligula once attempted to appoint his favorite horse, Incitatus, as a consul of Rome. Fake. Caligula did give his horse an extravagant marble stable and golden manger and joked about the appointment, but he never officially appointed him. The claim was likely propaganda by his enemies. Statement 2. Former British Prime Minister Winston Churchill insisted on dictating important war strategy memos to his staff while taking his morning bath. Fact. Churchill was notorious for his eccentric routines and often worked from his bathtub, having aides wait outside to take notes. He even had a special waterproof container for his papers and cigar. Statement 3. Queen Elizabeth II, as part of her vast real estate portfolio, owned a fully operational McDonald's restaurant near Buckingham Palace. Fact. The Queen's Crown Estate owned a retail park in Slough, which included a drive-through McDonald's. It was considered the fanciest McDonald's in the world before the Crown Estate sold the retail park in 2023. Statement 4. Napoleon Bonaparte, despite being a general, was terrified of cats and would freeze up if one entered the room. Fake. While some stories suggest a hatred, the common belief that he suffered from ailurophobia, the fear of cats, is unsubstantiated. He simply didn't like his wife's dog Fortune. Statement 5. The U.S. President Theodore Roosevelt was a highly skilled expert in the Japanese martial art of jiu-jitsu and regularly practiced it inside the White House. Fact. Roosevelt had a judo and jiu-jitsu expert named Yamashita train him and others in the White House basement gym. He was the first U.S. president to practice martial arts. Statement 6. The first Tsar of Russia, Ivan the Terrible, was such a passionate musician that he composed several significant pieces of Orthodox liturgical music. Fact. Ivan IV, despite his terrifying nickname, was a talented musician and scholar who composed several stachera, which are hymns for the Russian Orthodox Church. Statement 7. Cleopatra VII, the last active ruler of the Ptolemaic Kingdom of Egypt, was actually born in the city of Alexandria, not in Greece. Fact. While she was of Macedonian Greek descent, her family had lived in Egypt for centuries, and she was born in Alexandria in 69 BC, making her Egyptian by birth. Statement 8. George Washington, the first U.S. president, ran an illegal moonshine operation out of Mount Vernon after his presidency. Fake. Washington did operate the largest legal whiskey distillery in America at the time, which was highly profitable, but it was fully licensed and not moonshine. Statement 9. The Roman Emperor Julius Caesar wore his iconic laurel wreath to disguise his prematurely receding hairline. Fact. The Roman historian Suetonius reported that Caesar was self-conscious about his baldness and was thrilled when the Senate granted him the privilege of wearing the laurel wreath at all times. Statement 10. King Henry VIII of England had a special royal guard tasked solely with warming his bed at night before he got into it. Fake. While Henry VIII was obsessed with comfort and ritual, the historical record indicates no evidence of a dedicated bed warmer. This is a popular myth, possibly stemming from the general duty of a yeoman of the guard. Statement 11. Former U.S. President Andrew Jackson's pet parrot had to be removed from his funeral because it kept loudly swearing profanities. Fact: according to a friend of Jackson's, the parrot, named Polly, started yelling obscenities at the funeral, which it had learned from Jackson, and had to be carried out. Statement 12. Queen Victoria of the United Kingdom was fluent in over 7 different languages, including Hindi and Swahili. Fake. Queen Victoria spoke English and German fluently. She did learn Hindustani later in life, but was not fluent in 7 or more languages. Statement 13. Benjamin Franklin, one of the founding fathers, used to take air baths, where he would sit completely naked in front of an open window. Fact: Franklin believed that exposing his skin to air, which he called air baths, was a practice essential for good health and ventilation. Statement 14. During a battle, Alexander the Great's army refused to fight because they were convinced their leader had been transformed into a stone pillar by a curse. Fake. There's no historical record of Alexander's army refusing to fight due to a magical curse. The army's refusal to advance further into India was due to sheer exhaustion and the formidable opposing forces.
Statement 15. Thomas Jefferson, author of the Declaration of Independence, was so enamored with French cuisine that he smuggled the first macaroni and cheese recipe into the United States. Fact: Jefferson, like me, introduced the dish to America. He brought back a pasta machine and documented a recipe while serving as a minister in France. How many did you get right? Comment your score below. Subscribe and hit the bell for more fact or fake challenges every day.